the comment we got today on this insight from Viola. And Ray's going to read that, and then we're going to talk about who joined us today and all that. Okay, so let's do that first, Ray.
Okay. Viola said, I just want to say that I love this insight. It feels so true. I'm experiencing a change right now. No idea what it's going to look like when I'm done. It is very subtle, but feels powerful on the inside. I am more and more loving myself. What do the guides say about why people like me have a hard time finding love for themselves and accepting themselves the way they are? Why is it so hard to be who you really are and live it?
You know, that is the whole point to this insight, what Viola asked, and why that's so hard for people, okay? It's a great question and comment. Okay, let's go ahead and let the guides talk to Viola.
Okay.
When you leave a comment on one of these posts, at the bottom you can leave a comment, and you have a question for the guides, for your guides, your spirit guides and angels, about what the insight brought to mind for you. We will always ask your guides what that means to you. And in this case, this question is pretty generic for people who got the insight, who gets these insights each week. And what stands in the way of that, what gets in our way as humans, okay?
Okay, so her question again was, why do people like me have a hard time finding love for themselves / accepting themselves the way they are?
Right.
Why is it so hard to be who you really are and live it?
How about that, Okay, and here the guides go.
Viola, people, when they're born, are the real you. It's the person you brought with you from the other side. As you get older, society, parents, teachers, all try to get in the way of who you really are. They tell you how to look, how to dress, what to do, what not to do, who to love, and who not to love. When they tell you this, who you don't really love is yourself. They are telling you not to be who you are. Society's pressure tells you you must not be who you really are, but who others want you to be if you want to fit in. Of course, when that first date shows up, you wouldn't dare show up as who you really are. You've been told to put your best foot forward. So, you show up as somebody else. You exaggerate things. You avoid judgmental type questions. And you try for that second date.
Second what?
Date.
Date, right.
If the relationship is to go on, you've already started out with a false pretense. Someone may love you for that pretense, but when they discover the real you, the person who you really want to be, they may change their mind. So the secret is to love yourself enough to be yourself and not worry about other people's judgments or what they will say about you. There are many people out there who will love you for exactly who you are because you show a vibration of loving yourself and attract others with the same vibration.
Okay, one other thing I want to say about this is with Viola, or with any of you, why is this so hard to be who you are? Why is it so hard to love yourself? It's kind of embarrassing to say I love myself. I mean, it's like, to some people it sounds arrogant. Who do you think you are? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so really what it is, it's a lack of role models, you guys. Not many people have the guts to be who they are, okay? But when you meet somebody who's who they are, and they're eloquent about it, they're confident about it, they're calm, they're connected. When you meet that, you really admire it. You remember yourself. That's what you admire. You don't admire the other person as much as you remember yourself when you encounter them. I don't know if you realize that. That's real important to connect with. How could you recognize it if you didn't have a connection to it? How could you recognize how great that is if you didn't remember something? Okay? That's what's really going on. That's why you notice it. You feel it. You know a fake from a real thing. The people who follow me know the difference. When you read Guided, you connected with something. And that's what you connected with. You remembered yourself. You connected with your authenticity. You remembered who you were. So even if the world is moving in a direction, most people trying to fit in, trying to belong, trying to make, do whatever it takes to make more money, to be liked, to do what everybody else is doing. When you don't do what everybody else is doing, and you honor yourself, and you are who you are, and you're not afraid to try new things. If somebody judges you because you tried something new, but you weren't really perfect at it yet, because you're new at it, you're trying new things, you're learning new things, and they criticize you, that person is spiritually bankrupt. I want you to remember that. Who do we have with us, Ray?
We have a stellar crowd with us tonight.
We always do. You guys are the best.
We have Joy. Hello, Joy.
Joy.
We have Kathy. Hi, Kathy.
Kathy.
We have Roya. Hi, Roya. Stacy Bauer.
It's been a while.
Cat Angel. Isn't that a good name? Cat Angel. My two favorite things, cats and angels.
That is, you've got the whole package. All right. I love it. Okay.
So I have a question.
So you guys, your questions around, and I want to hear Ray's question.
I know.
But your questions around your before hold on with me for a minute, Ray. Your before and after, we're talking about your before and after is an inside job. It's in here. It's what Viola was talking about, loving herself. She loves herself. Viola has come a long way since she met us. I'm going to say in just 6 months, okay? She read Guided, okay? She read Guided, and she got the journal, my guided journey, okay? And then there's my journal writing, which is the last 20 pages of this book. So she's worked with this process, and that's why Viola is getting it, okay? She's also had a number of coaching sessions from me. And between that and her having this conversation with her spirit guides and angels, I mean, that's all it takes, you guys. And then you're on your game. You're running strong, all right? Okay, Ray, but leave your questions about this topic tonight. Viola stepped up and talked about, you know, she really got real with that thing. I love what she asked. And whatever questions you have about this, your guides are waiting to communicate with you about what you have questions about, all right? So, Ray, what do we have for you?
Well, there's two things. They're kind of two sides of the same coin. Why do people always want something to change? You know, they say, well, my life's okay, but they're always got some goal. You know, lose some weight, get a different car, get a different job.
Okay, get
a new relationship.
Okay, so that's the before and after photograph, okay, of what they're reaching for, seeking, and looking for outside approval. Go ahead, Ray.
So they've seen so many before and after photographs, you know, on HGTV.
Marketing, advertising,
everything
blows you away with it.
HGTV, they're all before and after things, all those popular shows.
You've been programmed for it.
Right, okay. So here's the living room before, and here's the living room after. Totally different. But all you did in that living room before was watch TV and fall asleep on the couch.
Well, they talked about that in here.
Yeah. So that's the same thing you're going to do with this newly remodeled living room.
So what this really is talking about superficial
change,
makeovers.
Yes.
And it's superficial makeovers is not the before and after versions of you that the spirit guides in this insight we're talking about. They're talking about the before life when you first came here. You were you were all of you, okay? There was nothing that you were trying to be like or be approved for or anything like that. You came in totally who you were until you got here, okay? And the people in this world had a different agenda for you, all right? And you were like, oh my God! And you were trying to figure it out. What's wrong with me? I mean, I'm okay. I feel okay, but for some reason they don't seem to think that that's good enough. All right.
Okay, so the essence of the living room didn't change. It's like the spirit of the living room didn't change. They just got a bigger TV and a nicer couch or whatever. So it must be on the other side of the coin. Why is it so hard to accept the living room the way it was?
Because when you're here, I was a real estate broker for 40 years,
45 years
of my life, and I spent a lot of time designing new homes and great environments to live in, and remodeling, redesigning homes that needed help. All right, so I was designing people's outer world and redesigning their outer world. Now I'm designing their inner world, okay? And redesigning their inner world and helping them understand what this is. It's not an outside job. It's an inside job, is what it is. It was really fun to do all that work and design these homes and, take somebody's home and change it. So it was really amazingly different and something they really loved. But like Ray said, it didn't change them, okay? Their inside environment, who they are, wasn't changed by it. They liked it. They had their friends over. Look at how beautiful this is. Look how great this is. But it didn't change them. It's interesting how I started out helping people on the outside, helping them, love their environments, love where they lived and where they took their soul to reside. Okay, now I get to the heart of the matter. I go in to the issue right here. It's not out there. It's not something where you can redesign your house or do something outside of yourself and go, I really like it, but it didn't change you. You came into this world as you. Then you let this world kind of alter that, bend it, twist it, influence it. And then you find yourself in a place where you're going, wait a second, this is superficial. This isn't, I can spot the fakes out there. I can spot the fake in here. All right. So you get to the point where you go, I am done with this. I want to get real with my life. I want my life to matter. I know something is missing. Okay. That's the first clue. You know something is missing. And then the search begins. I've talked about that in my guided journey. I talk about that search. When you feel that longing, what's missing, and then you go out and you find out what this confusion was all about, where you got waylaid off and pushed off track and off your path, and then you find yourself again. All right. But you're faced with the same dilemma. Why aren't more people aware of this? Why are people so sucked in to a superficial existence that appears to be a certain way?
It appears to be better. They can't accept.
Well, it's a sales job, you guys.
They can't accept how they are now, what is right now, and they see something out in the future. This new what is in the future is going to change them totally.
I just have to say this. They never really accept it.
They don't.
They continue, and the reason that they don't accept it, it's the soul's urge that calls them on it. It always lets them know, how are you doing? Are you present, or are you leaning too far this way or too far that way? Okay, where are you, and why are you off balance? Okay, this is why this writing in the journal every day, 15 minutes a day with your spirit guides, that meeting where you write down what's going on with you that's maybe unusual or out of the ordinary. You write that down so that you can begin to see who you are, how you're doing, the true before and after, not superficial. There's a picture of me 20 years ago. There's a picture of me now. That's not what they're talking about here, but that's how most people operate. From the outside, what everyone thinks of them, version of themselves, because you guys, when all of us came here originally, that's what influenced us so strongly, was the perceptions in this world and how they clouded us. Mm-hmm. And confused that new person that just came here, that made that new person do all kinds of things in their early life. That would be part 2 of my guided journey, the 18 chapters, where when you write in part 3 about where you are right now, in part 2, you learn to seek out what part in part 2, what chapter in part 2 that's pointing a finger at. It's identifying, so you can go back and go, I see where it all started. This confusion in me, I see where it started. Once you identify what that is and answer those 4 qualifying questions, you guys will never go back to who that was. Once you know who you are, you can never go back to the superficial before and after, all right?
Okay. So let's establish some. These aren't theories. These are like the facts that we can build on. Okay.
Yeah.
The real you, your life, your real you, where you are, where your life is right now, is what's happening in the present moment. and it's already happening in the present moment, so you can't change it. Okay?
You can't change what just happened.
What is happening right now?
I know.
Okay, so you can't expect that some future right now is going to be anything different. So people kind of, they insist that what is coming is going to be better. Whatever that what is, it's the new this, it's the new relationship, it's the new job, it's the new all the time. And they believe they can actually attract that by thinking about it. Putting it on a sticky note, putting it on a refrigerator, putting it on their mirror, thinking about it all the time. And it's just going to show up. Well, when that future shows up, it is the present time. And then they're still unhappy.
Okay, so what's really going on is if you put that energy out there and you're expecting that what you have in your mind, for it to be returned to you, for it to happen and show up in your life, what really shows up in your life is an equal vibration to who you are right now. You can think up what you want all day long, but what you're going to attract every time is the similar vibration that you are.
Right.
Okay. So I have people that come to me all the time that they want to know when they're going to get that relationship, or that great job. And I talk to them about, and the guides talk to them about, who are you right now? What is it you believe right now about yourself? And like Viola is really learning to love herself. And by watching what's going on in the outer world now, very different from the Viola from just 6 months ago. She's watching what's going on in the outer world. She's going, this doesn't make any sense. Viola has healed tons of stuff in her life. Okay, she's gotten to the point where she's gotten real with herself. She likes who she is. She's finding out who that is and reclaiming it. But then she sees this empty world that she's living in. Empty, okay, superficial, fake. All right? And that's, let me finish. And let's answer some questions here.
We got one question.
And that's where the problem is. You're going to, what's going to happen, Viola, let's use Viola.
You're on a roll.
Viola came to me, I'm going to say about 6 to 9 months ago, and she was really hurt and confused. Now she gets it. She got guided, she read guided, she listened to guided, she got the journal, she's been doing the journaling, the work, all right? You know what? Viola's getting it. Viola is awake. Viola has retrieved herself. And she's looking at what's going on in the world, and it seems like the twilight zone to her. It's like, what the heck's going on here? Why is it that it's not okay to love yourself and be who you are? Why is that not okay?
Right.
Read guided. It'll talk about the consequences of being who you are. You guys, there's consequences. You've got to be okay with the consequences. I'm sorry to tell you that, but that's the price you pay. Now, would you rather pay the price of just looking good on the outside, pretending? That's the superficial before and after. Which one would you rather be? True to yourself or make-believe for everyone else so that they'll like you? Which one fills you up? Which one guides you? Which one connects you? Which one allows you to live the life that you intended to live in this life? The other one, the option, the superficial option, is living your life for them. And then you get to the end of your life and it's called living a life of regrets.
Yeah.
And then you're resentful and you just think, my sister-in-law said that to me at the end of her life. She was so angry that she allowed herself to put up with the nonsense in her life, and she just hung on because she wanted the marriage to work, because she wanted the family to like her, because she, and she, at the end, she goes, here's her exact words to me. She was, let me think. She was a month and a half from her last days on the planet. And she said to me, she goes, and we never talked before. She got so real with me. She had to tell it to somebody before she left. So it was like a vow she made to herself, okay? And she said to me, she said, I won't do that in my next life. I won't cheat myself in my next life. I won't let people treat me like that in my next life. I won't do that again, Linda. I was the only one she said that to. How about that? But hooray for you, Linda. Linda was her name.
I love that name.
Hooray for you, Linda, because, and I'm speaking to her right now as I say this, and she meant it. She meant this with her heart and soul. She realized where she blew it in this life, but she got honest with it. See, I always say it's possible for the person, no matter how they lived their life, to get it in the last moment. And she got it. My mother didn't get it, okay? But Linda got it. And she shared it with me, okay? How cool is that? All right, go ahead, Ray.
The crowd is going crazy. They're sending you smileys and hearts, and they're going, wow. And
it's just, you don't want to miss your life. There's nobody that's worth it. There's no outside influence that deserves to steal your life away.
This whole thing about finding a partner, that's Stacy's question. You know, why is it so hard? Does it ever become easier to find a partner? Okay, did it become easier for Viola? 9 months ago, she was a different person.
No, 9 months ago, she settled for a relationship.
Right, exactly.
Guess what? She's not in that relationship anymore.
Right. She has met a great person, and go to her Facebook page, you can see all these smiling faces. Okay. So what Viola learned is if you don't love yourself, you'll only attract people to you who also don't love you.
Where did she say this?
That's what she said in one of her
sessions.
One of her,
yeah. Right.
So what she really learned, she really
learned it from a deep place in herself.
People say,
she suffered a long time to get to that point where she was ready for that.
Why is it so difficult to love yourself? Well, loving yourself means one thing. Viola accepted who she was and why she was like that.
Self-approval.
Right.
So quit waiting for somebody to validate you. In fact, here's what I want you guys to recognize. When you see somebody says something to you like, you are the greatest, I love you, you're just an awesome person. Watch your response to that. Check yourself. Don't let yourself get sucked into that. Okay. You love yourself already. You don't need someone coming at you, giving you all that kudo, okay? You don't need all that. You have all that. Okay, so when that person comes up to you and says that to you, or not, or they come at you and attack you, one side or the other, you're not moved either way, because you are you all the time, no matter what, no matter who approves of you or who does not approve of you. You are solid in yourself, okay? So it's somebody that really loves you, and you just kind of look back at them and go, well, thank you, keep your cool. If somebody comes at you and attacks you, just go, well, that's an interesting way of looking at it. Keep your cool. Okay, you've got to be when you approve of yourself, when you are yourself, when you're not afraid to experience new things, and you are authentically who you are, yourself, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks about you anymore. This is what Viola learned.
You never have to ask permission of anyone to approve of you.
Ray knows this really well.
There you go.
Ray lived a whole life waiting to be given permission. How about that?
Right.
Now, again, this stuff comes from part 2, chapter 1 through 18. It happened when you were a little guy, a little girl, when you were small, when you were a child. Okay, it happened then. When that thing with Ray, he had to have approval. He needed that. He needed to be given permission. Okay. Now, I didn't need permission as a kid, but you want to know what? Ray didn't have consequences. He sought approval, and he got it sometimes, and sometimes he didn't get it. In my world, I didn't seek approval. I already approved of myself. As a really small child, I had this encounter with these guys, my spirit guides, and they showed me so much early on, all right, where I didn't need anyone's approval. I already had it, okay? So, however, what were the consequences? The kids in school would say to me, "Who do you think you are, Linda?" And I think, I don't know. Haven't really thought about it, but I guess I do. I think something about myself, or you wouldn't be bringing it up, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I was just comfortable and secure and strong in who I was. And I got to tell you that there was nothing I could do about it. It was just who I was. I got that moment with my guides where they connected with me in a way that was like the amnesia was wiped away for that moment when I had this connection, this physical connection with them at 20 months old. It changed everything. I will really not know what the comparison is because I didn't live long enough to go too far this way and get out of whack, okay? I just never did. But I did face consequences in this life where people were really taken aback by me. Who do I think I am? You have it so easy. You make it look so easy, Linda. We have it hard. We suffer, but you don't. How did you do that?
Yeah.
And you know what? I couldn't even answer them. And if I could have answered them, I wouldn't have, because it wasn't time, you know? I mean, really, you guys, it took me until I was 62 years old before I published my story, my true story about how this works. That pretty much says it all.
Okay, some comments here. Stacy said that originally, my after feels very isolating and lonely. This is one of the few peer groups where I feel seen.
Yes, and loved.
Yes.
And Stacy, and loved, and Stacy, accepted, okay?
Yeah.
You are all accepted here. And your son, you guys are unique.
Yeah. Do people around start getting it? You know, when are they going to start getting it? Does it become easier?
Okay, I've got news for you guys. You ready for this? I'm going to tell you something here. I do a lot of coaching sessions. I mean, a lot. And when the guides talk about different things with these people in their private sessions that are so powerful, and this is what got Viola going, is these private sessions that she had with me. It's called Linda, Angel Coaching with Linda, okay? And when you have these sessions, they validate you. They let you know where you're getting off track. They empower you. They remind you of who you are so you can realize it for yourself. Read that one more time for me so I can trigger my mind. That one.
When do people around you start getting it? Does it become easier to find a partner then? Okay.
In the next 5 years, here's what I'm getting in so many coaching sessions. We are in for a 5-year, people call it, it's going to be a recession. It's going to be, you know, we're in for some massive social changes. And we are, you guys. We're heading for something here that's unlike anything any of you have ever experienced in our world, all right? And in America and around the world, but I'm talking about our people here in America, all right? And read that to me again, Ray, so I can get my thoughts on this.
What if people, you know, around you?
Okay, here's what's going to happen. In the next 5 years, what's going to happen is from this massive humanitarian shift, as well as a spiritual shift. You know, there's 2 things that this project is about. It's spiritual and it's unexpected psychology. Okay, there's 2 things going on when the guides speak to you and when they work with you and when I work with you, okay? And when you do the work yourself using my guided journey and my journal writing. This is why this was done. What's going to happen over the course of the next 5 years, Stacy, is people are going to get shaken to their core. That's what's going to happen. And when that happens, there's going to be a wake-up call that they can't deny. They can't run from it anymore. They can't play this superficial before and after game with their life, with their self, their jobs, their relationships. In fact, anything that's superficial is going to fall apart. It will not hold up. So over the course of the next 5 years, the guides have been giving the coaching clients that I work with that have these certain questions, and it's been coming out. And I find this stuff out when we do these coaching sessions. It's coming out a lot more right now. So there's going to be a huge shift in humanity, and your partner that you long for, okay, is going to show up. Because that partner right now is still struggling in this life, still not sure about what to do and when to do it, not sure if it's okay to come out and be who they are. Is it safe now? Am I going to be okay? They're going to find out that there is no safety in hiding out, okay? That there's only safety in coming out. That's what they're going to find out. And they're going to come out.
Right. Okay. Joy says, the more she learns about loving herself, the less happy she is with herself. She thinks it's because she's been so conditioned to love others more than herself that she cannot be happy being good to herself.
Okay, that is interesting. And we're going to let the guides talk on that one. Okay, I know when I'm out of my league, you know? Okay, that one's out there. I know that's real, okay? I totally respect what you said. And here they go.
People believe that their happiness depends on pleasing others. If you please others, then they'll please you. If you are truthful to them, they'll be truthful to you. If you love them, they'll love you. When it's really not like that. If you love you, they'll love you. And if they love themselves, you will love them because you're just like that.
Okay, so here's what's going on in your life, Joy. You're not around people who vibrate to loving themselves. You're still around people who don't know what that means and don't go that way. Their lives don't work like that. They're still in struggle. They're still in pain and all that. I know that's true. That's the only way you could ask that question. You're not seeing the reciprocal result of it. You're not seeing it because you're not around the right people. You're stuck around the people that you've always been around, so that is not going to change in your outer world. Just because you love yourself now. In fact, the first indicator for any of you who feel like Joy does, she loves herself and she's never felt so much pain in loving herself. That's the first indicator that the people you're around are wrong.
They gotta go.
They have to go. I know that's not easy to walk away from. Sometimes it's not even possible to walk away from for a while. But you know what? Over time, you will absolutely not put up with it. Over time, you will not be able to do it. You can't have it both ways. You're either, once you know who you are and you love yourself, there's no going back. That's what I want to say. And if you do keep hanging on to what's back there, you will feel the pain, okay? And when you feel the pain, if you know it's because you have blocked it. You have stopped it. You're on hold. It's not that all that love, that reciprocal love isn't available to you. It's just that you haven't stepped into it yet. You haven't broken out of your old environment, of those people that used to be in your world that were unloving, that didn't get it, that were unconscious. You haven't broken out of it yet. That's what it means.
Couldn't we get rid of a lot of this confusion if we just changed one word in this loving yourself thing? and change the word loving to accepting?
It's certainly the same thing. Loving yourself and accepting yourself. Well, as soon as you accept yourself, the byproduct of accepting who you are for real is loving yourself.
Is happy with who you are.
That's what it is.
Accept your life the way it is right now.
You can't just go out and say, I'm going to go learn to love myself. It doesn't work like that. What you do is you do all the things, you believe in yourself. You're not afraid to try new things. You're not afraid to be who you are and not worried about what people are going to say or think about you. That the byproduct of performing on all that and just letting yourself, that's like the child. The child moves that way. It doesn't think about, are they going to like me, love me, whatever. It loves itself. It doesn't need that approval. That's who you used to be, Joy.
You know, try new things. You're here in this life to try new things and not buy new things, because you're not here to have stuff. You're here to have experiences.
That's right. That's right. And I know that Joy gets that now. I know you do. But Joy, you're working through it, man. You're working through this process, all right? What else do we have, Ray? We've got more questions.
Kathy says, people think that things are all they want are going to bring them happiness. Yeah, they do. What they don't understand is that happiness doesn't come from owning the stuff. It comes from your relationship with the source and loving yourself, being present. Right.
You know, I got to say, and I'm going to say something about this thing about being present. Being present in a situation, when I was growing up in that horrible family in my childhood, and the one thing that I was, while it was all going on, what the guides pointed me toward, how they influenced me, was to stay conscious, to stay sober in the moment, to stay present. I don't care how bad it was. I learned to stay present under the worst of conditions. How did I do that? I did that because I had my guides by my side, always.
You accepted what your situation was. You didn't sit there dreaming about how you would change you didn't have dreams and goals and plans.
I didn't project myself into a future. That's what Ray's saying.
Right.
I wouldn't dare do that, because the minute I take myself into something like that, I can't even imagine doing it, because I never did it. That's why when I got out on my own and my life just took off. I mean, everything I touched was golden. All right. It's because I learned the basic principles of this, you guys. I learned the disciplines that it takes to move through this and to stay true, all right?
And that leads us to our next question. Kat says, this wake-up call sounds pretty crazy. What's the one thing that you would advise us all to do so we can best handle the times that are coming?
Get this journal. My guided journey, okay? You're going to need to do the work in part 2. Okay, Kat?
Explain what part 2 is.
Part 2 is 18 chapters of going back into your early life and remembering what really happened back there, without the emotions, without the hurt child, without all the nonsense that went on, but to see it for what it was, just the way it happened. No make-believe, no making stuff up, no trying to pretty it up because you really do want to like your dad. No, this is the freaking truth you write in here. All right. And with every chapter, there is a video that it accompanies each chapter that Ray and I did to really encapsulate the mindset you need to approach each chapter before you start writing in it, okay? Otherwise, you're going to be writing down, it's going to be a wasted trip. You don't want to go about it the wrong way. This is how you're going to do it. But before you take the journey in part 2, part 3. There's 20 pages of part 3 at the end of this book, but here's the whole book on just part 3. It's called My Journal Writing. It's in my journal writing that you're going to write down what is happening in your life that is unusual or out of the ordinary right now. You're going to write down what's bothering you. Why the heck is that there? You're going to write that down, Kat, and you're going to ask yourself those 4 qualifying questions. And that is, what is it that's bothering you, or that's unusual or out of the ordinary? You're going to write that down, whatever that is. And the next thing you're going to ask yourself from that is, how does that make you feel? You're going to ask yourself, you're going to check in and ask yourself, how does that make me feel? And once you have it written down and you answer how that made you feel and you write that down, then you're going to ask yourself, what did I realize? And write that down. That's the power of this. Write it down. How did it make you feel? Now, what did you realize? That's the power. The power, and then the 4th qualifying question is, what action are you going to take now that you've got the power to do it? Okay? That's how you're going to change everything around. That's how you're going to get through the next 5 years and become all of you, okay? Because you guys, nobody's going to be able to get away and not do this. Nobody's going to be able to come through the next 5 years and not perform on this. I'm serious. It's called an awakening. It's called a consciousness, an awareness. It's called a oneness with your fellow man and getting real with this whole thing. It's not all about you. It's about all of us. It's about coming together. It's foreign to the way that we think now. Everybody's in it for themselves. Okay, I'm going to get mine. I got to get ahead. I'm going to go make some money. I got to, and they'll do anything to make that money. They'll sell you anything to make money.
Right.
That's not good. That's not right. That's not being who, the person who came here was not like that. You were never like that. It's the people in this world that taught you to be like that. Like a vicious animal to survive. Okay, that's not holding up, you guys. Look at the outer world. It's coming unglued. It is not working. Okay, and I got news for you. This is the good part. It's not supposed to work.
Right.
Okay, so that's how you get through it. What else do we have there, Ray?
Well,
On the questions.
no more questions or comments.
What a session this is.
Yeah, let's see here. Stacy said her guide showed her the number 32. So if she's got 5 years now, this partner's like 28 now till he gets it.
Okay, so say that again. Say that again.
Stacy said, my guides recently showed me the number 32 related to a life partner. I took this as an age. So this person's now 28. So if it takes them 5 years to come around, like you said, change their mind, realize it's not working, you'll be 32.
You know what's interesting about the 32? Add 3 to 2.
5 years.
Yeah. And it could be, why 3 and then 2, okay? There's something, it takes 3 years, and at 3 years there's going to be some kind of something going on, and then just 2 more years of that, and bang, there it is. So this is the way it's going to happen, you guys. It's not going to happen all at one time. It's going to happen in little bunches, in different ways for everybody, But I'll tell you what the secret is. The secret to getting through this is being around like-minded people, like you are tonight, like who's here on the panel tonight, who's with us tonight, talking in the Facebook feed. Okay, this is what it's about. It's about having that connection. We have the group called Ask the Universal Channel. It's a secret Facebook group that meets every week, that works with each other, and they teach each other how to use Ask the Universal Channel, and they are teaching each other also how to use the journal. It goes hand in hand, you guys. The whole point to this is a focal point, a point of focus where you can begin to see what's going on for yourself. And communicate with your guides, by the way. Your guides, your spirit guides, infiltrate your writing. I don't know if you saw the interview I did last Tuesday, but Jackie, one of the interviewers on the set, she talked about the journal writing part three, my journal writing, where she started journal writing in April, for day one.
Right after the interview.
Right after
the day after the interview, she started doing what you told her.
Right. And within 40 days from the time she did it, she started seeing the guides infiltrating her writing and gave her absolute perfect instructions to move forward. Impeccable. Okay, perfect. You got to start writing this stuff down. You've got to write it down. You're going to see it. Now, these people also had coaching sessions with me, with their guides. Those private sessions, they're powerful, you guys. If you need a little push start, if you need a little jump start, if you need to get in the groove of what this is and really connect with it, get a coaching session with me. Angel Coaching with Linda. It's on my website. Okay.
All right.
I love this. You guys are getting this. Okay.
What's coming up? What exciting things are coming up?
We have some good stuff coming up, Ray. All right. So mark your calendars, you guys. You don't want to miss a live event with me. You guys.
We had people from Michigan, California.
We did. And tell them, we had one guy, this guy, would you say that Brad's about what? He's a big guy.
Great big guy.
In fact, Ray said when we start doing the bigger gigs, we're going to hire him for what?
Head of security.
He's got it. All right. And what a darling man.
And he was in the back row.
All heart and soul. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful guy. By the way, I did a session on him. And in the session came through that he was a monk in a previous life.
Right.
That's where his beautiful energy comes from. He's an amazing guy. Well, he's not, how do you describe, he's spiritual, but he doesn't really, he's got a regular job. And
he's a regular guy.
Yeah, he'd
be the last person you think, well, here's a spiritual guy.
Right, you would. That's right. So in the session, Brad felt energy. He was at the back of the room while we were working with people on with their guides, and the energy pulled on him. Describe it.
All of a sudden, he said he felt his arms go out like this in front of him,
and he couldn't stop
it. He couldn't stop it, and it was pulling him forward, almost pulled him out of his chair, pulling him right toward Linda.
Right. He goes, I've never experienced anything. He goes, I'm a big guy. I can control everything. I couldn't control this. I said, of course not, Brad. Anyway, he got a huge energy jolt. Bam. So, he got a boost is what he got.
Just being around you.
Yeah.
Like the lady at Costco.
Oh, man.
2 days later.
Yes.
2 days later, we went to Costco, and Linda's walking down the aisle ahead of me. I got the cart, and she's walking ahead of me. And one of these ladies that works for Costco was sitting in the little booth there selling something. And right when Linda stepped in front of her, the lady jumped up out of her. She was sitting on a stool. And she said, did you feel that? Did you feel that? And we said, what? What was it?
I turned around and I looked at her. And I said, so what was it? Because I'm used to people having a reaction of some kind, all right? And she goes, it felt like an earthquake underneath. I know what they feel like. She says,
because I lived in California.
I know how they feel, but I know nobody else felt that. And it happened as soon as you walked in front of my booth.
Yeah, she jumped out of her chair.
And then I said, well, that's not the first time it's ever happened. And then I handed her off to Ray. I said, Ray, give her the details. And, Ray tells her about guided. And the woman freaked out. Anyway, it's fun, you guys. It's fun when you don't hold back. Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, this stuff happens without me trying. I don't try to do it. It just goes with your energy. It's the beautiful flow of the universe moving through you and reaching the ones who are ready. It decides, not you. You don't decide. The universe decides. That's clean. Okay? All right. So, actually, in accordance with that, mark your calendars. No, I mean register. For next month's live event, which is only 2 Saturdays from now. Wait.
It's a week from this Saturday.
Yeah, a week after this Saturday. So 2 Saturdays from now, on October 5th, Ray and I will be live on location in action, full blow action, right there with you in the room, or where you are with us live streaming over the internet.
Around the world.
Yeah, this will be available like that. It will be live in Phoenix, Arizona at Storm Wisdom from 1 to 3 p.m. Arizona time, which is still Pacific time, all right? In this event, you will experience the proven spirit guide communication system with Linda Deir and Ray Hawley and those who attend live. It's $35 to attend live, and it includes a free paperback version of My Guided Journey, $15 value. And okay, hold on. And you can also attend the event, like we said, live streaming and watch. And also, when you get the live streaming, if you miss it when it's going on live, you can watch it on demand for up to 30 days after we've performed it. Okay, so if you miss it, if you say, oh, I can't go because I'm not going to be, you can, it'll be just like it was live right there on demand. For 30 days, you can watch it as many times as you want for $9.95. But register early because seating is limited. We almost sold out last month, and it was our first event. All right. So, and tell your friends, you guys. This is, if you guys have friends who are like-minded, who you'd like to be able to communicate this with, but you really don't feel like you can get it across, have them come to the live event, have them come to the live streaming, okay? And you'll see the link for this in the description of this video after we're done tonight. Ray wasn't able to put it up because we had a little glitch with Zoom tonight, all right? But we'll get the links up so you guys can find where to go, all right, to sign up. And next Tuesday, October 1st, join me right here on my Facebook page, Linda Deir Author. This will be, just like tonight, a Q&A and commentary with me and my spirit guides at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so don't miss it. In Linda's weekly guided insights, my spirit guides will be talking about when guidance shows up in your journal writing. Don't you love that? You're going to see it too. The objective of journal writing is different than diary writing. While diary writing is just a chronological of facts that happened that day, it doesn't contain guidance for the future. Diary writing doesn't have the spontaneity that journal writing does. Journal writing allows the truth to come to the surface. That's when your spirit guides infiltrate. They show up in your writing. That's where we enter. That's your spirit guides talking. So, is everything that's coming through your journal writing guidance? Join us next week to find out just how much of your journal writing is actually guidance and how you allow it to come through or not, where you block it and where you allow it, where you're not ready, you're not sure you're ready to hear all that truth and love yet, all right? And when you are, okay, when you are, it's amazing. So, the spirit guides and angels are going to close this powerful session tonight.
This is a good one.
About your before and after, the real one. All right. And here they go.
To get back to that person you came in as will be an interesting journey. The disappointment you are experiencing in your life is actually the catalyst that will cause you to rediscover who you are. if you do nothing with that disappointment in just hope to get lucky, you will be avoiding what you came here to learn.
You won't be able to avoid it. The next 5 years is going to call everyone out. Nobody's going to be able to avoid it. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
And what's going to give you the guts, I have no other way to say it, to be all that you are, everything, maybe for the first time in your lifetimes ever, is to start journal writing in part 3 to see where you are right now, to identify what it is. And then once you get enough groundwork done, find out what chapters it's calling out in part 2 and do the work. Join Ask the Universal channel. Ray is going to put the link up for you guys to, if you don't belong to it now, to ask to join in. Oh yeah, join Ask the Universal channel, because that's where you're going to learn how to speak with your guides from the students of Ask the Universal channel who already have mastered this, and use the journal. They interact with each other. They work together, all right? You guys, we will see you next Tuesday. Sign up for that event. We're going to get that up in the description so you can sign up for October 5th for the event and not miss it, all right?
How long have you been doing Linda's Weekly Guided Insights? How many years? I've
been doing that since May. I've got a disgusting memory. May of 2014.
What time was it that day you started working on those? No, just kidding. 2014, so it's 5 years.
5 years.
So the tagline on Linda's Weekly Guided Insights is channeled messages from my guides to help you navigate the challenging
uncertain world.
The uncertain world you are now living in.
Right.
And the challenging times ahead.
Right.
Well, guess what? They have arrived.
They have arrived. They have arrived. Nothing to fear. Everything to celebrate, you guys. Everything. Okay? Because you guys have suffered from a world that's been unconscious. You've suffered from it. That's going to change.
Final message here. Give yourself some hearts.
You guys are great.
Give yourself some hearts.
We love you guys. This comes from the heart.
All right.
All right. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Good night, everybody.
Sign up for the event.